Hey everyone, so I have recently lost almost 50 pounds eating a low-fat, oil-free, whole food plant-based diet. So today's video, I'm going to be taking you through a full day of eating, starting with my lime water, sometimes it's lemon, and a couple of apples. So this is just kind of how I've been starting my day. I've heard that drinking lime or lemon water is a nice way to flush the liver and rehydrate after waking up, so that's how I've been trying to start most of my mornings. And before we jump into the rest of the video, if you are also on a weight loss journey and are in need of some more oil-free whole food plant-based recipes, all of my weight loss recipe ebooks are on sale for only $5 right now, $5. These are the exact recipes that I've been eating to get this weight off. Here you can see some of my before and after pictures, so I can confidently say that these recipes work. So again, if you're in need of some more recipes, the link will be in the description box below. So for breakfast this morning, I'm going to be having one of my most favorite smoothies that I like to call my Ruby Red Smoothie. And that's thanks to the rich red color from the strawberries, cranberries, and beet. All of those things are so fantastic for our health. I also like to add some frozen mango, which I find is a nice break from frozen banana, as well as some medjool dates. So I usually throw in 2 or 3. I've been eating medjool dates all along my weight loss journey. They're full of potassium. I just love the way that they sweeten up this smoothie. And lastly is mint. I am a huge fan of fresh mint, and I will actually be using this whole container in this one smoothie. All of these flavors end up meshing so wonderfully together. And this right here is the reason that I like to call this smoothie Ruby Red. Look how rich that color is. So green smoothie, you can move on over. No, I do love my green smoothies as well, but this is a nice alternative if you are still wanting to have a healthy smoothie that doesn't have any greens in it. Cranberries are so excellent for health, particularly women's health, as well as beets. They are just fantastic. And thanks to the date and mint, you don't taste either one. I love this smoothie, and I hope that you guys are going to love it just as much as I do. Okay, so for lunch today, I am having what I like to call sweet potato chips, although they're not crunchy at all, but they look like chips, as well as some steamed veggies on the side. So these sweet potatoes are the purple variety, and these ones taste a little bit more cakey, I find, than the orange sweet potatoes. However, I love the orange sweet potatoes just as much. I just grab these just to switch it up. So here I am just peeling them. As you'll see, I peel the one completely, and then I leave a little bit of peel on the other one. That's just a matter of preference. You can keep the peel on or take it off. Just try your best to make sure that the slices are about the same thickness. That way the cooking time will be about the same. I should also mention that these are an amazing way of making the sweet potatoes when you want to have them in advance. I like to make up a whole bunch of these sweet potato chips and then just pull them out of my fridge as I want to eat them. These are awesome if you have some type of delicious, low-fat, oil-free dip. They make excellent dippers. So here I'm just throwing it in the oven at 400 degrees for about, 30 to 40 minutes, or just until they're soft. So right here, this was about halfway through. I took them out of the oven and I was just trying my best to flip them over and then put them back in the oven for about another 20 minutes or so. Everybody's oven is different, so cooking times may vary. So you just want to make sure that they're nice and soft. Okay, so while those potatoes are cooking in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and make my veggies. So here I'm just throwing some frozen veggies that I got at Costco. It's just a blend of cauliflower, broccoli, and some carrots. So I'm just throwing that in my amazing ceramic pan. I absolutely love this pan. I can have it linked in my description box below. I grabbed this on Amazon from some amazing company, but boy, this is an amazing non-stick pan, and it has absolutely no toxic chemicals in it either. That was actually the main reason that I bought it. So here I'm just creating a glaze for these veggies. Now, this is my favorite glaze. I actually love it the most on broccoli, which I also like to get my frozen broccoli from Costco, but I had just run out. But the Normandy mix is really good as well. So basically, it's just a little bit of maple syrup. I had about 2 tablespoons left there, as well as some soy sauce. And the sweet and salty combined, oh my gosh, it is so, so good. And what ends up happening is that the veggies end up absorbing that glaze. And it honestly just elevates your veggies to a whole other level. So the sweet potato chips are done. So this is what they should look like. Well, especially if you got the purple variety of sweet potato. And here is a sweet pepper jelly. So this is a pomegranate one, 0 fat. I look for all clean ingredients. There's nothing funky in this one, hence why I bought it. So here I just serve myself basically like a tablespoon or so. Again, I find that the sweet and salty is just really, really delicious. So we've got that glaze that's sweet and salty on the veggies. And then we have the sweet potato chips, which I end up putting a little bit of salt on those, and then have that sweet pepper jelly that, oh my gosh, it's just so, so delicious. And keep in mind, look how much food I'm eating here. You know, this is quite a large portion. This is the beauty of eating an oil-free, whole food, plant-based diet, because when you don't cook with oil, then you're really reducing the overall calorie density of the meal. So you're allowed to eat a ton of food like this and still be in a calorie deficit so that you'll end up losing weight. All those non-starchy veggies will fill me up and the starch will keep me full. Okay, so it's actually still just the early afternoon, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started on my dinner. So for dinner tonight, I decided I was just going to throw together a soup in my Instant Pot. So here are just the core ingredients that I'll be using in this soup. There is no real recipe that I'm following. I'm just kind of grabbing what I have and, gonna make some magic with it. So here I have, some frozen green beans, 3 organic potatoes. Doesn't really matter if they're organic or not. Mine just happen to be. A can of pinto beans, an onion, some garlic, as well as some carrots and zucchini. I just find that that adds a nice flavor to soup. If I had celery, I would have added some celery as well, but I was all out. The zucchini is full of water, so that just adds some volume without really adding any calories. And here's some cilantro that I just had soaking so that I could give it a good clean. I love adding fresh herbs to my meals. It really gives it a lot of flavor. And for spices, I will be adding some garlic powder, some onion powder, and that's just some Vegeta that I threw in a glass jar. The MSG free kind. You do want to have a watchful eye when it comes to soup seasonings like Vegeta. A lot of them do contain MSG, so please be sure to check for soup seasonings that do not have any MSG. So here is my Instant Pot, and I am just throwing in all those wonderful ingredients. I just love how colorful our food is in this way of eating. It really gets me every time. I just kind of marvel at it myself when I see all the different colors. Even just thinking of all the food that I ate in the course of the day, it's literally like eating the rainbow. And as you can see, I'm just kind of dumping everything in. There is no particular order, right or wrong way to do this. Just kind of throw it all in your Instant Pot, add all your spices, give everything a good mix. And then we're going to finish it off by topping it up with some water. And keep in mind that there's a lot of water contained inside of the veggies. So while it might look very bulky before it's cooked, once it cooks, it's actually going to cook down in volume. And a lot of that water water from all your, vegetables are going to be released into the soup. So you don't need to add too much water. So I like to just kind of cover enough water over the soup, that it's just covering it, but you don't want to add too much because then you're going to lose out on some of that flavor. So here I'm adding the seasonings, and I just want you to take note that I did not go very light on the spices. So do be generous when it comes to your seasonings, because that's where we get our flavor from. And I think the one thing I love the most about soups is the fact that it's the one thing I really, really don't miss any type of oil or fat. Like, for example, when it comes to salads, sometimes that can be tricky, and I love me a lovely huge salad. But the hard part is finding a dressing that I love just as much as I love the salad. But you don't have that problem when it comes to soup, because you get all the flavor without the fat, and you really just don't even miss it. And the other nice thing about making a good hearty soup is that you don't necessarily need to have any particular recipe, so it can be really cost effective when you just open your fridge and open your cupboards and just kind of throw everything in a pot and away you go. So I cooked this particular soup for 25 minutes in my Instant Pot, and you can see how much all those wonderful veggies cooked down. So for dinner tonight, I will be having, I'll start with one bowl of this soup, and then, if I need more, I can have more, because the calorie density of the soup is very low because there is no added fat whatsoever. So here I am just adding a little bit of nutritional yeast. I love this brand as well. This one is a non-fortified organic nutritional yeast, and it tastes delicious. It's a little bit lighter tasting than the fortified ones, but I love it, and I love all the health benefits from this one. So there is my dinner, and if I end up being hungry, I'll have another bowl later. All right, so it's about 7 o'clock and I am craving a little something sweet. So my rule of thumb when it comes to snacks is that I try my best to stick to, fruit or veggies or, green shake. I've talked a lot about that on my channel, but tonight I am needing to eat up this pineapple because it's getting to the point where it's overripe. So I'm actually going to grill some pineapple, which I normally love eating it fresh, but I don't know, I just had a hankering to eat, some grilled pineapple. And again, this pan just does wonders. It's just so good as far as nothing sticking to it. So before I threw the pineapple in, I had preheated this pan on medium-high heat, just to get it nice and hot before throwing the pineapple in. And while that is cooking, I am going to go ahead and make my tea. I have mentioned on some of my more recent videos that I'm getting into teas, and actually just homemade teas. So here I'm going to be making a licorice root tea. Now, I have been loving licorice root. This is super sweet. It's actually like much sweeter than sugar. So this tea is naturally sweet enough that you actually don't have to add anything to it. So it is excellent for digestive health, or if you have a cold or a flu. It also has a lot of properties in there that will help fight a cold or a flu. If you do have high blood pressure, then it's something that you have to be careful with. So I would encourage you to do your own research. But again, that's licorice root tea. So here I am just putting some hot water in there, and I'm just going to let this sit for about 10 minutes or so. And then, sometimes I strain it, sometimes I don't. The licorice root usually settles to the bottom, so it's not really that big of a deal for me. So here is the pineapple, and look at this beauty. That is all the natural sugars that, are coming out of it. It is so good. This is totally giving me summer vibes, that grilled pineapple on the barbecue. Not exactly the same, but boy, does it come close. So this is my late night snack. So there's some grilled pineapple. Look at that color, just so gorgeous. And my tea is playing matchy-matchy with it. It's also a beautiful golden yellow color. So there is my tea and my grilled pineapple, and I am so looking forward to eating this. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you need more recipes like today's video, don't forget to check out that awesome book sale, $5. Link is in the description box below. If you found any value in today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. I'll be showing everything I've done to get 50 pounds off.